how's it going? So this video is more of just like a reflection video. When I was at work, I was just thinking about, times in my life when I wasn't necessarily in the greatest place, literally, physically in the greatest place. What made me think about it is because I'm just like, wow, it's really a new year already. Like some days into the new year already. Like I feel like January is over already. Like it's crazy. And where I currently am employed at is downtown in my city, and it is right across the way from where I used to live, or where me and my mom used to live many moons ago. It's been a long while, but it's just so crazy. It was almost unrecognizable because I did not recognize the name. Well, obviously it was unrecognizable because I didn't recognize the name. Then I'm looking like, wait, the street looks familiar. I ended up taking a walk over there, and I'm just like, wow. It was really a wow moment for me to think about how far I've come. Just a little background story about me, because I've never really introduced myself. Obviously, I'm an Aries, hence where I got the name, All About Aries. I am my mom's only child. My mom was married. My mom was in the military. We lived, different places outside of the country, inside of the country, a few different places before my mom decided to relocate back to Pennsylvania. I was actually born in Missouri, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, obviously on a military base. My father, my biological father, was also in the military. That's where she met him. I've never met him per se. Whenever I was born, my mom did say that he came to the hospital, but then literally the next day he got shipped off to like Japan or somewhere out of the country. I haven't had any contact with him ever. As far as I know, he's never reached out to me to try to find me, to try to reconnect, to try to get to know me. Now, where I stand on that is I would love, absolutely love to meet my biological father. I would love to meet this other family, this other world that I do not know. I feel like it would explain a lot about me personally, some unanswered questions. And then it would just be awesome to have a totally new family, meeting new people. I love meeting new people, so it would be great to know that I have more family out there. As far as my biological father is concerned, the last time that I was updated on him, or whenever that was, I know that he had 2 older daughters before I even came into the picture. I don't know if he has any more kids at this point or what. I don't know if he's still living, if he's not, blah, blah, blah. I've tried to find him, multiple failed attempts. I don't really have that much information to go on. I just know that the little bit that I do know, I'm pretty sure he's from New Jersey. And that's really about it. I know his first and last name, or at least the name that my mom told me, or that he told my mom. My mom did say that he was Muslim, so I don't know if this is a Muslim name or if this is his given birth name. I'm not sure. But again, I would love to meet him. I had friends helping me look on Facebook years ago. Recently, I had a friend call Maury to see if they can help me, and they said they don't do that anymore, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so that's just the backstory. So my mom met her husband, who for the longest time I thought was my father, because my mom married him, I was a wee little baby, and he was all that I knew until we moved back to Pittsburgh when I was like 7 or 4 or 5. I don't know. And somewhere, couldn't have been 4. How would I remember all that? I'll say like 7. I'm sticking to 7. As far as I know, he was a wonderful father. That was the only father that I knew. He was an excellent provider, things like that. But obviously, he might have been an excellent father, but he clearly wasn't an excellent husband. Which leads us to, come back to Pennsylvania. So when we first came back to Pennsylvania, my mom is one of 8 children. My grandmother has 8 children. And I'm assuming that's why she chose to come back here, because I'm like, out of all the places, honey, you should have chose for us to move somewhere hot. Texas, California, Georgia, anywhere but here. But so we came back here when I was probably about 7. And all of the help and support that my mom assumed that she was going to get, because like I said, she has a lot of siblings, a mother, and all of that. She didn't receive that. So it was definitely rough for us when we came back. My mom made, a tough decision to come back with nothing, like literally the clothes on our back, because that's the type of mom that I have. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, you didn't want to get no spousal support. You didn't want to get no alimony. You didn't want to get no child support from my biological. You didn't want to bring your car back. You didn't want to, because we definitely live, upper middle class for sure. Nice cars, nice houses, nice things. My mom's like, no. My mom's the type, she washes her hands. That's it. She doesn't want anything from anybody. Probably where I get that from, but I'm a little bit more lenient. I'll take a little something before I leave. But anyway, so when we came back here, it was kind of rough. We were homeless. We lived in a shelter for a little while until they placed us. This shelter, Salvation Army. They placed us in housing projects, of course. That no longer exists at this point, but it was called St. Clair Village. And crazy enough, I wouldn't change any of that, because all of that molded me and shaped me into the person that I am. It was definitely an adjustment, moving to the projects and living in a shelter. Everybody would tease me, oh, you talk funny, you talk different, you talk proper. So of course, I had to switch my lingo up real quick. Get a little ghetto, get a little hood, get a little ratchet, just so I didn't stand out like a sore thumb. I wouldn't say that I wasn't being myself. I would just say that I adapt well to my surroundings, period. I can be in a boardroom or I can be in the trap house. It just is what it is. Educated, but also, grew up in the hood. Same old story. My mom shielded me from a lot. She hated the fact that we had to go through those things. She didn't even want me to play with any of the kids. She didn't want me to play with any of the kids. She didn't want me to associate with any of the kids. She didn't associate with anybody. My mom was bougie and stuck up. At least that's what, the neighbors would say. But I had good times. I had good times. Like I said, those weren't the worst moments in my life, living in a shelter and living in the projects and things of that nature. But I was just reflecting and seeing where I came from, road less traveled, but it's my journey to be on. I always say success is a journey and not a destination. So I'm just still on that road, and as I'm on lunch at my workplace, I look out and I see the building that I used to live in, the shelter, Salvation Army, which is no longer even a shelter. It is currently a hotel. which is dope. I think I'm gonna have to go on a little staycation and get me a room there just to see what they done with the place. It's crazy. But I said all that to say, we get so wrapped up and so caught up in little minor trivial things that really does not matter. There's so many people who have less than us. There's so many people that are struggling with real life issues, and we get so caught up in things that, won't even matter tomorrow or won't even matter 5 minutes from now, So I just wanted to come on and just give a little spiel about how my day went today and the things I was reflecting on. I'm going to add the clip of me at work, looking out the window, looking at the big world that's outside of the glass that I'm encased in while I'm at work. I'm just at work, sitting here reflecting, looking out the window, and just thinking it's a whole new year, and I've come such a long way. Of course, I'm not where I want to be, nowhere near, but I'm also nowhere near where I used to be. This building here, the District Hotel, is such a sentimental place for me because at one point in time, it was the Salvation Army. And if anybody watching is aware of what the Salvation Army is, that is a shelter. I remember at one point in time, my mom and myself living there and living in a shelter. But oddly enough, it wasn't like the worst time in my life. My mom has not always been able to provide all the material things and give me all the money and things like that. But where she lacks in finances, she's always been rich in love and instilling morals and values in me. It's crazy. My mom was in the military. She got married relatively young. We've lived in Germany. We've lived in Louisiana. I want to say that's where we were coming from whenever my mom decided to relocate back to Pennsylvania. And when we got here, all of the help and support and things that we thought, or that my mom, I should say, because I was only about 7 at the time when we moved back here, between 4 and 7, that's a little foggy for me. But all of the help that my mom thought that she would have with raising me and things like that, starting over, because, they say it takes a village. She didn't receive that. So she had to do what she had to do, grind the pavement. And we started out right there where it says District Hotel now. It is now a hotel. It's crazy. And it used to be the Salvation Army. I went to school from there. We experienced a Christmas there. They made us feel real welcome. Like, usually there's so many horror stories and things like that in regards to shelters, which, that's to be expected. But God obviously must have been covering us because we had our own room. It was almost like it was a hotel back then, which is so crazy. But I just wanted to come on here and reflect. And it's so ironic that my workplace is just a constant reminder of where I've come from and where I'm trying to go. But it's real dry and desolate outside. It's winter time here. It's usually real pretty over there. It's real pretty. This is downtown in my city. But yeah, the moral of the story is there's always somebody with less than what you have. There's always somebody with more than what you have. But the point is to just be grateful for what you have. Even if what you have is, you feel it's very little. Like I said, I wouldn't change it any other way. Because I had my mom. My mom had me. And I had love and support from her. And God got in our steps, obviously. And now we're in better positions, more comfortable positions far from where, we trying to be. But through God's grace and, always carrying us. God is so good, man. It's crazy. I'm not going to get emotional in the video, but just wanted to come and reflect. It's a new year. Just thinking back on things. So I hope I gave you guys a little bit more of an insight about the makeup of me. And like I always say, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Comment, share, and subscribe. And this is where I'm going to love you and leave you. Until next time, bye. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.